Good morning, Dokkan gamers. How's it going, everybody? I just woke up and got some nice Cell Max info here, so we're going to be looking at that, and then we're going to be going over the calcs. I do already have them posted on Twitter, so if you want to see them first and you don't want to listen to me ramble on and go over them, just go check those out on Twitter. You can find my Twitter in the description below, or I mean, it's on the screen. So, anyway, guys, Cellmax, here he is. I did already take the time to kind of go over him, kind of gather my thoughts before I go into this video, because I think I'm going to have to be a little bit sensitive, because I think I'm probably more down on this guy than more people are. Before I say anything, I would like to say he does fulfill a role, and he does definitely bring a toolkit that is needed for his teams. So, before we do anything, I did just want to preface that it's like, yeah, he is doing some good stuff that his teams need, which is what we want out of these yellow coin LRs. We really want them to just kind of be like the final puzzle piece that brings the team together, and I think he does do that. I just don't think he does that on like an insane top level in the game. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at this guy. Here he is. Here is his art. He is Extreme STR, so we do finally have a new Extreme STR unit in the game, and they are good. They are a new good Extreme STR unit. Previously, we don't have a single good Extreme STR unit in the game. I mean, go look. There is nobody that is 9th anniversary level, and if anybody says LR Cooler, you're banned. Well, not actually, but maybe. Maybe you are. I don't know. It depends on who you are. Maybe you're banned. I don't know. Let's go ahead and take a look at his kit here, of course, courtesy of Goresh, you know, the little Frieza. You guys know who this is. If you're watching my video, you know who this is. Leader skill, artificial life form, or super bosses category for key 150%. Leader skill on these yellow coin LRs really doesn't matter. I wish that they would modernize these and bring them into the current meta a little bit. Like, I'm not asking for these guys to have 200% leader skills, but if they could have like 4 key 170%, I mean, that would make them legitimate leaders that could be run. But I guess what they're indicating with this is we don't want you guys to run this guy as a leader unit. Like, we're giving him a leader skill, but just because we have to is kind of what that indicates to me. So his 12 and 18 key super attacks greatly raise attack for 1 turn. And then the 18 key also is an AoE that greatly lowers attack and defense. So, you know, debuffing can be good. Not a huge fan of these, though. Only greatly raising attack in 2024. That's not great. He does lower attack and defense, but it's only going to be once per turn because it's on the 18 key. If the lowering attack and defense was on this guy's 12 key, that would definitely be a better design. I don't know why they only locked it to his 18 key. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. They gave this guy, before you guys get into the passive, I mean, you may already know what he's doing, but they gave him a lot of additional attacks, and maybe they were just like, oh, if we put the debuff on his 12 key, he's going to, like, fodderize the bosses. And it's like, well, sure, yeah, let's do that. Yes, you know, like, anyway. Passive skill activates entrance animation once only at the start of the character's attacking turn if there is another artificial life forms or super bosses category ally on the team, and for 3 turns you get 100% attack and defense at the start of turn. You get guaranteed guard again for those 3 turns, and performs an additional attack that's a high chance of being a super attack. By the way, guys, in case you don't know, typically, you know how I like to use the Dokkan info site, and they have like bullet points. The semicolons would indicate like the different bullet point lines. So the 100% attack and defense, the guard, and the additional attack that's a high chance to be a super attack, that should all be tied to the intro. So you get guard for your first 3 turns, which means that you have to keep him on rotation to get 2 turns of guard. If you float Cell Max off, whenever he comes back, he will no longer have guard. So yeah, you want this. They're asking you to keep this guy on rotation. Is the thing here. So 2 turns of guard, essentially, if you keep him on rotation, 100% attack and defense, and an additional is a high chance to be a super attack, okay? Key +5, attack and defense plus 300% at the start of turn, okay? That's, you know, pretty good, right? That, you know, 5 key and 300% attack and defense. So in total, with the intro up, you're at 400% attack and defense at the start of turn. You get an additional 1 key and 20% attack per attack performed, up to 5 key and 100% attack. So that's, that's good. Gain an additional key plus 1 and 20% defense per attack received, up to 5 key and 100% defense. I'm not a huge fan of this. The nice thing here, though, is that, this guy does get guard for the first 2 turns. So getting his full build-up shouldn't be too difficult. So that is good. You should be able to, get this guy's full build up pretty easily within 2 turns. I wouldn't really, it's tough, in terms of like how I would build this guy. Cause to me, this seems like a character that you'd want to give a lot of dodge to, because he does already have crit and additionals built into his kit, but you're going to want these 5 hits in. If you're not getting these 5 hits in, this guy's going to look significantly worse. So, I'll probably go for crit on my Cell Max, but we'll see. He's not coming out on Global for a while. Perform an additional attack has a high chance of being a super attack. Okay. By the way, this is a multiplicative buff, and this is like the only multiplicative buff in his passive other than the active skills. So, anyway. Perform an additional attack has a high chance of being a super attack, gain an additional 250% defense at the start of turn, and 30% damage reduction if all allies attacking in the same turn are on the artificial life forms, super bosses, or movie bosses category. So that's the teams that they're telling you to run this guy on, basically. They are essentially locking him to these teams, but even more so, they're locking him to super bosses and artificial life forms because you need those for the entrance animation. But you only need one. You only need one other for this intro, so you could still get away with running him on movie bosses. The only one that comes to mind at the moment is like Metal Cooler, but yeah, like super bosses really is his role. I mean, that's where he's meant to be good at the moment. Gain an additional attack plus 250%. A chance before. Sorry about that, I had a yawn. Chance to form a... where was I? Gain an additional attack plus 250% and chance to perform a critical hit plus 30% whenever there are no superhero category allies attacking in the same turn. So you can't use this guy with like the Gammas or Beast Gohan or anything like that unless you are going to keep them separated the entire fight. But I guess this is just attack. But it is also 30% damage reduction. I mean, you're going to... Oh, no, this is just 30% crit. So, yeah, this is all tied to just attack. So, losing this wouldn't be the worst thing ever. Perform an additional super attack within the same turn after receiving an attack. So, this guy's going to do a lot of attacks. I mean, how many is that? You get the intro attack. You get the one down here. You get the guaranteed one after doing an attack, and then you could do the hidden potential. So you could do 4 super attacks in a turn. That's where maybe they were like, oh, we can't give this guy, lowers attack and defense on his 12 key too. That'd be too powerful. But it's like, is it? Is it too powerful? It's like all they've given this guy is 650% defense at the start of turn for 2 turns, as well as 30% damage reduction. So for this guy's first 2 turns, he's going to be like pretty much impenetrable. After that, he's going to lose the guard, and he'll only have the 30% damage reduction, and he's going to lose the 100% extra buff, so he's going to be down to 550% with 30% damage reduction. Like, I don't know about that. Plus the 100% buff. Hopefully that's built up, but... The active skill, the Scream Explosion, able to be used after 4 or more turns have elapsed from the start of battle, and all allies attacking the same turn are on artificial life forms or super bosses. So that means you can never get this up while the intro is up. The intro is only for 3 turns. This can only be used after 4 turns. So you cannot get this while the intro is up. It doesn't really matter, but... for calculation purposes, that's just something to keep in mind. What it does, you massively raise attack temporarily, ultimate damage to the enemy. For 1 turn, you get 999% defense, and all enemy attacks are redirected at this character. So this is obviously really, really, really good. You can use this starting from turn 4. So, yeah, like right after your intro wears off, you do get this. You have this in your back pocket the moment that his intro wears off. So this could be really good. The question is, are you going to be able to use it strategically, or are you going to be forced to use it because you don't know where the super attack is? It's not like there's a scouter running around on the super bosses team. If the super bosses team had a scouter, that would add a lot more value to this. But if you're going to be using this guy as your slot 1 unit for a lot of these fights, You know, after his starting on turn 4, really it'd be like turn 5. If you're keeping this guy on rotation, it's like, you know, you're not really going to be comfortable putting this guy in slot 1 against this full brunt of attacks if this is not up. And so then it's like, okay, well, how much longer is this fight going to go on? Are we going to be able to wrap it up before we get back to this turn? Are we going to have a contingency plan? Is there somebody else that can go in slot 1? Because I'm going to tell you guys right now, you know, 1.2 million defense sounds really good, but it's not what it used to be. When these bosses are hitting for 4 million, you know, and they're doing 1 million damage normals, like that's not what it used to be. Links are horrendous, by the way. I mean, they're kind of okay. Like, Big Bad Bosses, Nightmare, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power, like, those are fine. Android Assault, I don't know why he has this. You cannot run this guy with other androids. So, this is just a dead link on him. Berserker is just a dead link in general. And then Infighter doesn't make any sense. So, these first 3 links are just terrible. This is horrible design. I don't know why they put these on him. I hate this. Don't do this. You know, you're not running this guy on the androids team. You're not doing it. Like, I'm telling you right now, you're not running this guy on the androids team. But anyway, Big Bad Bosses, Nightmare, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power categories. He doesn't have that many. Artificial Life Forms, Big Bad Bosses, Movie Bosses, Androids, Final Trump Card, Battle of Fate. So I assume Super Bosses as well. Oh, yeah. Instead of Big Bad Bosses, this should be Super Bosses. That's what that... I was like, the Big Bad Bosses category. Wait a second. Okay. Well, that's the breakdown. Let me know what you guys think about Cell Max right now. Let me know right now, and then leave me a second comment letting me know what you think after I show you the calculations. So let's go ahead and look at them. Here we go. LR Cell Max. We got it in this nice red and black color. This is like one of the more simple units I've calculated in a long time. I mean, there is nothing complicated going on with this guy. So we're starting out with the defensive stat here. If I go ahead and go back to this post right here, we can see, well, you guys can't really see that. Let me go here. There we go. 9338 is his defensive stat. STR units get 4,600, so we add 4,600 to that, and that's what his rainbow defense will be. At 55%, you get 2,000 to all stats, so you take the 9338, add 2,000, and then these are his defensive stats for rainbow and 55%. So that's how you're going to calculate that. He gets ×5 on a 200% leader skill. I think he's on a 200% leader skill. I didn't actually stop to check to see if he's on a 200% leader skill. Hopefully he is. I assume he is. What is Rosé's again? All right, good news. He is on Broly's. He's on Broly's 200%. Super Bosses and movie bosses. So he is on Broly's 200%. He's not on Rosé's, but he is on this one, and he's going to be on what? Metal Coolers for Artificial Life Forms? No, Metal Coolers Wicked Bloodline, isn't he? Well, anyway, he is on Broly's 200%. So that is really good. So anyway, in order to multiply the defense, you have 2 200% leader skills on the team. That's a total of 400%. In order to include the base number, which this is the base, right? This is where we're starting, so that's the base. So we have 400%, and then we add 1 to include this base number right here, so that's how we multiply that. So he'll be up to 69,690, dude. Omatsu's a joker. Look at that. He was trying to get that to 69,420. You know he was. Big Bad Bosses is 25%. That'll give him a 1.25 times multiplier. So you take this. Again, Big Bad Bosses is 25%. To include this base number, we include the 1, which is why that's there. And so we multiply by 1.25. Over here, the only difference is that we're including Android Assault, which is another 20%. So instead of doing 1.25, over on this side, we're doing 1.45. And then, of course, everything is mirrored on the 55% side for each. So you can see 1.45 here, 1. Oh, this is actually wrong. Oh, my goodness. I'm a fraud. Boom. No, wait, no. That was right. I forgot. This is the 25% one. This is the 45% one. Never mind. There was no error. There is no war in Ba Sing Se. All right. So this is correct. 650% at the start of turn. We discussed this. That's 100% from the intro, the 300% that he gets normally, and then the 250% that he gets for being like with super bosses. So that is a total of 650% at the start of turn. That is again going to be a 7.5 multiplier because that is 650%, which as a decimal would be 6.5. We include the base. You always got to include the base, everybody. Everybody always asks me where the extra 1 comes from. It's because we're including the base. You got to include the base. Otherwise, you're only getting the boost that they're receiving. The best way you can show that is with the link skills right here, if we did not include the base, our defense would go down. Oop, I forgot there we go. Our defense would go down to 17,000 and not up to 87,000, right? That's why you got to include the base. You always got to include it. And then finally, the last thing that he's getting is 100% buff after receiving 5 hits. You guys know he gets 20% per hit received up to 100%. And so you would take this, multiply by 2, and that is his ending defense is right here. So you can see at 55%, he's at 1,000,000, 100% he's at 1.3. So really not that much of a difference between here. And this is where I was like, after the guard wears off, you know, it's not going to be super pretty. So that's why I'm like, you know, I'm a little hesitant. 1.3 million defense at the start of turn definitely sounds crazy, but you know, is 23rd World Tournament Goku still a really solid slot 1 unit today? You know, I don't think he is. I don't think 23rd World Tournament Goku is as strong as he used to be. And the thing is that after that, you know, guard wears off, this guy only has 30% damage reduction, and you lose the extra 100%. So it's really going to turn into how quickly can you wrap the fights up is how this is going to turn into. So I am a little bit negative on this guy, but the thing that the Super Bosses team does have is damage. They have damage in abundance. They are overflowing with damage. So if you're able to get damage going, you really can wrap up these fights quickly to the point to where this is not going to be a problem, I think. So potentially it could be, but I think there's going to be enough damage that this isn't going to be a problem. That's my prediction. I don't know if I'd put this guy in the top 10, but I think he's definitely the puzzle piece that Super Bosses needed, and that he is a slot 1 unit for a couple of turns. I think, you know, between Rose, between Broly, and this guy, there's going to be enough damage to get you moving through these fights fast. But if your fight is going on for a long time, that's where you're going to start to see the cracks. So anyway, and then over here, obviously, you can see the defense is higher because, I mean, we're just stacking on from this 1.45. You know, this is the difference that 20% in links makes, right? So that's why you got to link level your characters. Down here, the only thing that is different is this is after your intro wears off. So you can see everything up to this point right here is the same, but instead of times 7.5, we're doing times 6.5 because we've gone down to 550% at the start of turn, which means that after we're fully built up, we're only going to be at 1.1 million defense. And this is where my concern comes in, is 1.1 million defense with 30% damage reduction good enough? The good news is at this point, you do have access to the active skill, which is going to make him impenetrable because, I mean, look at this. look at this. I mean, I don't... you know, turns out a 999% multiplicative buff is good. I mean, I don't know if you guys needed me to tell you that, but yeah, he's going to be impenetrable, untouchable, an absolute demon wall behemoth with his active skill up. I think that's, like, obvious, right? But... remember that this is only for 1 turn. So you get 1 turn of invincibility out of this guy. Otherwise, he's going to be at 1.1 million defense with 30% damage reduction, best case scenario. You know, a lot of players are only going to have this guy at 55%, so they're going to be seeing him closer to 921. And then this is also assuming that you have him next to Rose. There's not that many Big Bad Bosses characters, so if you have this guy next to Broly or something, I mean, you're going to lose out a huge chunk of stats from that. You know, like, let's say you don't have Big Bad Bosses activated down here, and, you know, you drop down to sub 1 million defense. That's a little bit suspect. So, after his intro is gone, you got to strategically use this active skill, because otherwise this guy is going to be a sitting duck. So, or you got to wrap that fight up quick. So, now here's the thing. Super Bosses team does have domains. So, let's say you have like a 30% domain up. You know, you would take this 1 million defense, multiply by an additional 1.3. You know, you're getting back up to closer to a nice level. But you know, this makes me nervous. You know, I see 1 million defense these days, and I don't jump out of my chair. I see 1 million defense, and I want to cautiously advise you guys that this guy is not going to be as tanky as some people think he is. You know, a lot of people see 650% at the start of turn, 550% at the start of turn, 30% damage reduction, and they're like, dick is touching the moon, right? Like, they are cratered through Uranus. Like, it's insane. But, you know, it's going to take some smart plays to really use Cell Max. If you had 2 of this guy on the team, like if you could run a double Super Bosses team with this guy as your leader under like a double 170% 4 key or something, yeah, I could see where it'd be like the Beast Gohan experience where, you know, for the most of the fight he's untouchable, and then you have the 2 turns back to back where you can't be touched. You know, I could start to see like something there, but since this guy isn't like a leader, you only have access to this one time, and this is really the only team protector mechanic that Super Bosses has, so you're really going to have to strategically use it. Down here, we do have with support up, so let me go ahead and shift this down just a little bit. So this is what you can see. I just did a flat 50%. I didn't really put much thought into it, so you can obviously see that the numbers are higher, but it's not like tremendously higher. I mean, we're already at 650%. You know, another 50% is a very, very small drop in a very large bucket. So, let me know what you guys are thinking about Cell Max here. Again, I'm probably a little bit more down on him than a lot of people are going to be. I will say that this turn has a ton of value. This is awesome. This active skill turn, this is what Super Bosses needed. We needed in the game a very, very powerful STR unit, so that is also very, very, very good that Cell Max's STR. I mean, that just shows that they are paying attention to the typings that are being released, and they are realizing that it's like, oh, hey, guys, we released a bunch of, you know, extreme type missions for the anniversary. Maybe we should give them an STR, you know, character. If you guys don't know, they released like a, oh, beat this stage with an AGL, tech, int, STR, and physical character on your team, right? Like they gave us like one of those, and there are no good extreme STR units. So anyway, looks like there is one good extreme STR unit now. But you guys, let me know what you're thinking. Again, thank you all for watching. Thank you to Goresh for translating. Let me know what you guys think about these link sets, by the way. Let me know what you guys would have done. I did make a community post about this, like asking you guys what you thought his links could be. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Thank you all again so much for watching. I really appreciate all of you. Let me know if you're excited for Cell Max. Let me know if you're excited for the sync. I'll catch you guys next time.